Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In today's class, we are going to study about chapter 5. So this is our lesson 8. That means today is the 8th day of our Bhakti Shastri. We are continuing with our studies. Last class we have seen Jnana Yoga, that is chapter 4. Today we are continuing with the chapter number 5. This chapter 5 is called as Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So in this session, we are also going to study about the yoga ladder. Yoga ladder means how we are going to advance in yoga from chapter 3 to chapter 6, level by level, one step by step, how the improvement happens in the yoga. Yoga means to connect with the Lord. So that is the today's, that is also we are going to study today. So let us take the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Chaitanya, Shri Gaurnitai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So first unit, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1 to 6. Today is the 8th day, and chapter 1, first text to 12th, 5.1 to 12 will be our study for today. So how the yoga begins? The third chapter begins with the study of Karma Yoga, and then it is advancing towards Jnana, that is knowledge. Now the Karma Sannyasa Yoga, that is the 5th chapter, and in the next chapter, 6th one is Dhyana Yoga, that is Ashtanga Yoga will be explained in chapter 6. So let us start our study with the quotation by Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read this? Can raise their hand. Shri Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, you can start. You are not audible.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes.
The yoga systems. In the previous chapter, as a prelude to the Bhagavad Gita, many different paths were explained. This was all presented unsystematically. A more organized outline of the path would be necessary for the action and understanding. In other words, by this questions, he is clearing the path of Krishna consciousness for all students who seriously want to understand the mystery of Bhagavad Gita. 3.2 Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in the last chapter, in the fourth chapter, we have seen the action and inaction. How a person acts in the knowledge, just like a person who is acting in ignorance. Externally, both look similar, but there is a lot of difference. The person who is acting in knowledge, he is not going to get bound. And one who acts in ignorance, he is going to get bound by the results of his activities. So how to do the inaction? We have to offer the result of our action to the Lord, then it becomes inaction. Now in this chapter, we are systematically studying the different paths that are explained from chapter 3 to chapter 6. In the chapter 3, Krishna explains about karma kanda, and then he explains about karma yoga. Why the question of karma kanda came here? This is all because Arjuna's one of the reasons for not fighting is there is no enjoyment. And the goal of karma kanda is enjoyment. I want to enjoy this life, but I don't know how to enjoy. I don't want to get entangled, but I want to enjoy. Then what I should do? Then I should follow the scriptures. Whatever rules and regulations that are given in the scriptures, if I follow them, then I can enjoy here without getting entangled, provided you don't make any mistake. That is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You lead a path of dharma, that is you behave religiously. You have to do all kinds of rituals. Then it gives artha. Artha means the wealth for enjoying. Then from that wealth, kama, one can satisfy one's desires. Then when one is frustrated by this kama, when I feel that it's enough, I can't take anymore, it is enough for me, all kinds of enjoyment, then moksha, just become merged into the Brahman effulgence, that is moksha. So these are the Chaturvidha Purushartha. So these are coming under karma kanda. And the varnashrama system is also designed in the same manner. In the society, people of different kind are present. Everyone is not in the same mode. That is, 3 modes are there: goodness, passion, and ignorance, sattva, rajas, and tamas. So based on what kind of mode you have developed, accordingly you can choose your varna and ashrama. And accordingly you can follow karma kanda and you can enjoy. So how this is related to Arjuna? Arjuna is a Kshatriya and he has to fight. Fighting is his duty. So if he fights in the war and if he wins, he will get the kingdom, artha. Then he can use it for his enjoyment, kama. Then if he dies in the battlefield, then he will go to heaven. So going to heaven is also a part of karma kanda. The Brahmana also does yajna for the sacrifice for going to the heavenly planets so that he can enjoy there. That is karma kanda. Now, this karma kanda doesn't have Lord at the center. I am at the center and I am using the instructions of the Shastra given by Lord himself for my enjoyment. And I'm not keeping Krishna at the center, but my own enjoyment is the main motto. But when I keep Krishna at the center of my activity, that means the result of my activity, if I give to Krishna, then it becomes karma yoga. This is the explanation where a person has to work or he has to act without expecting anything. Now, if I work without any expectation, why I should do? One Mataji has asked, what is the motivation if there is no gain in the result? If I don't get the result, it is not that you don't get the result, but it is told that we have to offer the result of our activity to Krishna. So when we give to Krishna anything, he will give back. That is prasada what we take, and it is purifying. Now, why I should do this karma yoga? If I do karma yoga, just like a person who is working outside, he is sincerely, whatever job he has, he is doing the job and he is earning some money and using that in the taking care of his family, and also he worships the Lord and he follows all the instructions given by the Guru. So he is doing some karma yoga. Now, what is the result of this karma yoga? He will achieve the knowledge, jnana. Why I should act, work? Why I should act? That is the part of jnana. So when I am working, what is the difference that that makes when I work for myself and when I work for Krishna? That is the difference between karma and akarma, and also vikarma. Vikarma means forbidden activities, breaking the 4 regulative principles. So this is the difference. So these things one can achieve when he comes to the position of jnana yoga. And also jnana gives us a kind of renunciation, or we can understand the temporary nature of this material world by understanding this jnana. And also the knowledge of the soul. I am not this body, I am spirit soul, and this world is not permanent. I am not going to live here permanently. I have to make a plan for going back to Krishna, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is maintaining all of us. So all this jnana a person will gain when he does this karma yoga, in acting in Krishna consciousness. So it leads to jnana yoga. Now, when a person comes to this jnana yoga, he should not misunderstand that, okay, I have got now jnana, then I will give up all my activity. That is what Krishna is very clearly telling in the 4th chapter. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam hritam jnanasinatmanaha chitvainam samshayam yogam atishtottishta bharata. This is the last shloka of 4th chapter. In a person who is in knowledge and a person who is in ignorance, both are acting. Actually, a person who is in knowledge, who is a devotee, who has achieved the devotional platform, he has no bondage to work or to act, but still he will act as an example for others. Because whatever the great people, whatever the leaders act, his followers will do the same. They will follow. Yadyad acharati shreshta taddadevetaro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. So this is given in the previous chapter. So because the mass of people will follow the leader, it is the duty of the leader to do the right thing. Just like Krishna also accepted Sandipani Muni as his guru. So Krishna accepted a guru, so we also have to accept a guru for our spiritual advancement. So this is the conclusion. When you get the jnana, you should not give up your activity, but you have to understand the intention behind the activity. We should not act like an ignorant person who is acting only because he wants to gain some material benefit. But a jnana yogi, he is giving a good example and he is using the result of his activity in Krishna's service only. So that is the jnana yoga. Next, 5th chapter, Krishna is explaining Arjuna why Arjuna has to give up the tendency of giving up karma. Karma sannyasa yoga. The 42nd text in the chapter 4 is telling Arjuna that you have to develop jnana, and also atishtottishta bharata. You have to get up and start fighting. Maam anusmara yudhyacha. You should remember me and you should act. So this is how Krishna is teaching Arjuna. So now you don't think that you can give up your activity. You must work. You must have you have to fight, but don't fight like Duryodhana, because Duryodhana is fighting for his own pleasure or his own sense gratification. Don't don't fight like Duryodhana, and also don't think that I will not fight at all. That is also wrong. You should fight, but with proper consciousness, with proper knowledge, and you should know why you are doing all these things. So that is karma sannyasa yoga, and it is nothing but jnana yoga only. A person who is doing this yoga, he is already in jnana. He is already in the knowledge. Now the practice of this activity, karma, the karma means the activity for gaining yoga, for gaining the Lord, or to get connected with the Lord. That is dhyana yoga, which will be discussed in the next coming chapter. That is chapter number 6. So this is called as yoga ladder. Why it is called as ladder? The first step of the ladder is very at the lowest stage, which can be taken up by anyone. That is karma kanda. A small child, whatever it gets in his hand, it has a tendency to put it in the mouth. And a person who is in ignorance, he will only see what is there in this world for me. All the animals and birds, all reptiles, everything is searching where is food, where is food, where is food, and where is a shelter for me to stay. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha. They all are searching for their own game, what I can get from this world. A karma kanda will explain a person or will enable a person to gain whatever he wants without getting entangled. In the previous case, he is getting entangled, just like a frog is trying to catch an insect, but at the cost of its own life, because the next to insect, a snake is waiting, because a frog will come here and it tries to eat this insect. At that time, I'll catch the frog. Similarly, when we try to enjoy this material world, we are getting more and more entangled in the complexities. So how we can escape these complexities, how we can escape from the hands of this illusory energy, and also we should get the enjoyment. How to get that? That is taught by karma kanda. Karma kanda, like you are paying tax. A person who is paying tax to the government, he will not be punished. He is earning, and a part of it he is giving to the government, and he can live peacefully. But what is the problem here? This is all like impersonal. I am not considering the government as a person. I don't have any love for the government. I am doing it just for my safety. Government is giving protection, and I am doing my job and giving some portion of it to the government. It is like that. I follow the Shastra, and whatever result I get, I'll enjoy. That is karma kanda. Any beginner can easily follow this. Any beginner can start this. Even while preaching also, the newcomer, he will ask, if I chant, can I get good concentration? Can I get good marks in my exams? Can I become peaceful? All my material problems will be gone. So these are the expectations those people are having. So they will keep the first step in the spiritual life. But this is not called as yoga. Karma kanda. It is not yoga. Yoga means to connect with the Lord. So when we understand this karma kanda, when we follow this karma kanda gradually, after many years or sometimes many lifetimes, the person understands this is all waste. I'm just getting the body and I'm doing the activity, enjoying and losing. Like that, it is bhutva praliyate. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudussare, kripaya pare pahi murare. A person can go to heavenly planets, enjoy the result of his activities, and come back to this world. Again, he has to work, he has to do yajna. Then so much of suffering. Then like that, it was going on. At one point, he will understand that this can be broken. This cycle has to be broken at any cost. I can't go anymore like this, because how long I have to suffer like this? This is also a kind of suffering. Then he will understand there is something called as karma yoga. So I have to get detached from this cycle of birth and death. That is possible only when we bring Krishna into picture. In Krishna, when we keep Krishna at the center. So I start worshipping the Lord, and I'll give the result of my activity to Krishna. So like that. That's just now I explained how it is going on. So this is called as yoga ladder. A person keeps the first feet in Karma Kanda, and Karma Kanda is supported by the Varnashrama system. Based on whatever mode a person is, he can take it up. Then gradually, karma yoga, by doing a sincere karma yogi, will get jnana. And when he gets jnana yoga, or when he comes to the level of jnana, a person develops renunciation. But here the warning is never give up your activity, but you just change the intention of your activity. Then he will come to karma sannyasa yoga. That is nothing but it is jnana yoga only. And finally, he will act for achieving the supreme personality of Godhead. That is dhyana yoga. So this is the karma yoga ladder. It is called as yoga ladder. Now let us have a group exercise here. Identify from chapter 3, verse 10 to 16, Sanskrit words and phrases from the verses, statements, analogies from the purports, which demonstrate how one gradually becomes purified by performing Vedic yajnas. I request all of you to open the Bhagavad Gita, text number, chapter 3, text number 10. So this is very much connected here because it is a yoga ladder. We start with the shloka number 10. So here we can see how the human being and demigods, they are supporting each other. The yajna, the fire sacrifice what we do, it is given to the devatas or the demigods. Ultimately, it is for the enjoyment of Krishna or yajna purusha, but it is also supporting the devatas. And these devatas or the demigods, when they get satisfied, they will help us, and they will give us rain, they give us water, they give us air, all these the food grains, everything will be supplied. And we should take it with some gratitude, and we should give it back to the demigods. So like that, by through this yajna, a person can live happily within this material world. So this is explained from text 10 to 16. So the activity is, you have to find out the how one gradually becomes purified by performing these Vedic rituals. Now these are the, okay, we will post it on the chart. So these are the groups. I'll make 5 groups here. First group will talk about the text number 10. Second group will be 11. Third is 12, 13, 14, and 15. Please note down your number. You can note down all the numbers so that whichever group you go, there you can discuss these points, and we will have 3 minutes for discussion, 2 minutes for presentation. Is there any doubts in this regard? You can raise your hand. We'll make 5 groups. Each group will have these shlokas to discuss. So 3 minutes for discussion and 2 minutes for presentation. Okay, if there are no questions, then we'll go for breakout room. I'll make 5 groups here. Prabhu, 5 groups I'll make. Is it okay?
Yes, perfect.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, the rooms are open now. Sri Hari Priya Mataji, you have any problem in joining? Okay, welcome back. Let us start our discussion. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I request the leaders to raise their hand. Those are going to present. Sureshwar Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna. You can start. 2 minutes time you have.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Actually, this particular shloka shows certain words like yajna. Yajna means sacrifice, and the sacrifice to the demigods initially. And whatever sacrifice we do, that will be directly going to Lord Krishna. And this is just an offer given by Lord Krishna, so that the conditioned soul will go back to him. So through this, we can do the yajna sacrifice and we can reach him. And there is one statement given in Bhagavad Gita, Vedesya Sarve Rahameva Vedya. The Lord says that the purpose of Vedas are to understand Lord Krishna. Then again, Srila Sukadev Goswami, he is describing that he is the Lord of all living creatures, all worlds, all beauties. I'm just reading only the translation part of it. All beauties and the protector of everyone. Then again, there is importance of Sankirtana Yajna that is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also it is supported in Bhagavatam, that is Krishna Varnam, Tusa Krishnam, Sango Bangastra Parshadam, Yajne Sankirtana Pratnye, Yajanti hi Sumedasha. In the age of Kali, who is endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship Lord, accompanied by his associates, by the performance of Sankirtana Yajna. So in the age of Kali, since we are in the age of Kali, we can definitely follow the Sankirtana Yajna, and this is one of the practice for the devotional service. These are the points we found out, Prabhuji. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving the chance.
Okay, Mataji. Deepti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Prabhuji, what we have tried to identify in the team, a few points. So this is related to text number 11. And there are a few important words that we noted. They are related to Devan. This is the demigods. And what we are trying to do is Bhavyantaha. We are trying to please one another. So there is this mutual understanding. Parasparam, that is mutual. And not only that, the demigods, when they are pleased by our sacrifices, they will please us. So we are trying to nourish each other. And we understand that the demigods have been appointed by the Lord in administrating all the material affairs, and the purpose being because we wanted to lord over. So we had come here, but Lord, he understood, he knew that we would need his blessings, and so he had appointed all the administrators to look after our needs. And not only that, when we do the sacrifices, through the sacrifices, we are trying to please the demigods. And one most important thing is that it says their pleasure and displeasure depends upon the kind of benedictions we are going to get from them. So it's like even they get pleased or displeased. So it's not that something like Lord Krishna, where he is always pleased with our activities. Yes. And not only that, Lord Vishnu is the chief benefactor, as we know from verse 5.29, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapsam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. So whenever we are trying to do any kind of sacrifice, automatically it goes to Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, because he is the chief benefactor. Yes. And since all the demigods, they denote the different body parts of the body of the Lord. So whenever we do any kind of yagna, automatically all the demigods are pleased. So whenever we are doing it for Lord Krishna. So the main purpose is when we try to keep Lord Krishna in the center and try to do our activities, automatically our purification happens. Purification of our soul, of our mere existence, it starts happening, and we try to get liberated from the material bondage. Ahar Shuddho, Sattva Shuddho, Dhruva Smriti. So what happens exactly, Prabhuji, what we have understood is when we perform any kind of yagna, we try to purify our eatables. And when we eat the purified, when we take the sanctified food stuff, our existence becomes purified. The memory, the finer tissues of the cells in our memory, they start getting purified, and we start regaining back our smriti from the forgetful, whatever vismriti has happened to us. So based on that, it helps us to achieve our liberation. And ultimately what is happening is, if we understand the root cause, it is something like everything is happening only because Lord Krishna is being in the center. So when we dovetail our activities with Lord Krishna, just like when we water the roots of the tree, automatically it gets distributed to all the parts of the plant. So this we have understood, Prabhuji, that we have to, everything gets combined in Krishna consciousness if we dovetail our activities with Lord Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Deeparani Mataji, Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji. The verse allotted to us, we were two members in our group. Yes, Charita Kapoor Mataji and me. And the verse says, Karma Brahmodavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishthitam. In this verse, there are two acts of sacrifices are given. That is, one is regulated activities which are prescribed in the Vedas, and as we know, Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the other one is the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the act of sacrifice. So, and these two sacrifices are equivalent because they have they are the will of the Krishna. So therefore, these are said to be purifying our senses, and they are transcendental. So here the practical application of this is yajna, or the sacrifice, is more than the ritual, and adherence to one's duty. Adherence to one's duty is actually performing yajna. So and if we participate in yajna, then even with the materialistic objective, we come in contact with the transcendence. So, and because this is directly emanated from the Lord. And if we do sacrifice, it removes our false ego also, that is the sense of self-proprietorship. And thus the spiritual life can be seen as varying degrees of sacrifice for a transcendental cause. And the learning point is yagnartha karma. Yagnartha karma, that implies a necessity to work for satisfaction of Krishna only. That is yukta vairagya. This is more like if we do work for the satisfaction of the yajna purusha, Vishnu or Krishna, then we must find out the proper direction in the direction of a Brahman, or whatever is written in the Vedas. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you very much. Muralidharan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. We were allotted two texts, text 13 and 14 of chapter 3.
Yeah.
Text 13 says, the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Otherwise, who prepare food for personal enjoyment verily eat sin.
Yes.
Devotees are released from sin by offering food to God. Food grains are produced from rains, and rains are produced by sacrifice. And Vishnu is the Yajna Purusha. Once you feed the roots, the whole body is nourished. The demigods are the limbs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eating Bhog Prasadam will release from sins, and Kali Yuga, that's verse 14, talks about all living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Eating Bhog Prasadam, release from sins, and Kali Yuga Sankirtanam Yajna is recommended to us by Mahaprabhu, releases us from sins. These are the two learnings from the two verses. Prescribed duties should be performed by keeping Krishna in center. This is the key learning we have derived from both the verses. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, so text number 12 was assigned to our group. So here in the shloka, it says, demigods provide all our necessities, whatever we need in life, but they get satisfied through our performance of yajnas, and then demigods give us whatever we want. So for each and every, to fulfill each and every necessity of life, there is a particular demigod. So that way we have 33 crores demigods. So if we want anything, we cannot sit and satisfy all the 33 crores of demigods. And because life is short, first of all, in Kali Yuga, and people have lack of knowledge which demigod is satisfied how. So in the Vedas, there are they have recommended different types of yajnas for different type of people. Meat eaters can worship goddess Kali, and people in the mode of goodness can worship Lord Vishnu. But worshipping 33 crores of demigods just to get what we want, we cannot do it. So all the demigods are body parts of Vishnu. Vishnu is called Yagna Purusha, Yagneshwara. So worshipping Krishna alone, all the demigods will be satisfied. And also for materialists, okay, in the shloka it says, people who enjoy whatever we get from the demigods without offering it back to the Lord are thieves. So bhogis are gross materialists. They are mostly like thieves because they are behind sense gratification. They all their consciousness is, what am I getting and how am I getting it? Their concentration revolves around me and myself, false ego. And by performance of yajna, whatever we get will be purified. And in Kali Yuga, our Yuga Dharma is to perform Japa Yajna or Sankirtan Yajna. And Krishna also says in, I think, Vibhuti Yoga, he says, Yajnyo Nam Japa Yajñosmi. So Krishna is Japa Yajna. So by performing Sankirtan Yajna or Japa Yajna, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, all the demigods will be satisfied, because in Kali Yuga it is Japa Yajna. In Treta Yuga it was fire sacrifices and all that. So all the demigods will be satisfied, and if they are satisfied, Krishna is automatically satisfied. And also, if Krishna is satisfied, all the demigods are satisfied. And also in chapter 18.7, Purport, Prabhupada mentions Krishna as the supreme sanctioner. So even if we pray to demigods, demigods in turn go ask Krishna to sanction whatever we are asking. So if Krishna sanctions, only then demigods can give us whatever we want. So that way, so Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Only so much we could find out.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for presenting. So we got so many points here. So Sankirtana Yajna is the highest yajna we have to perform. And anybody wants to eat food, he has to do yajna. Without yajna, one cannot exist. Just for existence, we have to do yajna. And the highest yajna is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, if we are not going to Krishna, then there is, we can do the demigod worship, and there is a mutual support between the human beings and the demigods. Whatever we do the yajna, it will satisfy the demigod, and they will give the result, and like that it goes on, give and take. But as Mataji told, the result can be both positive or negative. You may fall down, or you may displease the demigod, then you may have to take the reaction of that. And whatever yajna we perform, finally it goes to Krishna only, just like the watering the root. So it is very safe, and it is good to directly go to Krishna rather than trying to satisfy the demigods. And where it begins with our food. Food is every living entity has food. Without food, nobody can live. So from there only we have to start. We have to purify our food. So when we purify our food, then our existence will be purified. A person is known by the what he eats. A person, he is eating sattvic food, means definitely he is in sattva-guna. A person who is eating a rajoguna food, he will be in rajoguna. And person who is eating tamoguna food, he will be in tamoguna. This is directly, it is connected. We can practically see this. So food directly affects the consciousness. So if we want to advance in our spiritual life, first we have to eat only sattvic food. And when the existence purified, existence means a person will not do sinful activities. He will live a pure life. Then his brain or his entire system is ready to receive the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And when we get this knowledge, it will cut all the bondages or the hankerings, the tendency for sense gratification, the temporary nature of this material world. All these things he will realize by through this knowledge. Then he is eligible for liberation. So all these points we have seen. And also one who doesn't satisfy the Lord, then he is a thief. Demigods supply everything, and if we simply take from the demigod, just like now what is happening, we are only taking so many things from the nature, and we are not giving back anything. We are only polluting the nature, and we are not taking care of the mother nature. That's why there are so many earthquakes, and there are tsunami, and so many ways the people are getting, the living entities are getting destroyed because they don't deserve. So Krishna is a supreme sanctioner. So we have to do the offering to the Krishna. Yajnas are giving the prescribed activities. So if we want to do the activities, first we have to satisfy Krishna. So how to do that? We have to go to the prescribed Shastra, Guru Sadhu Shastra. According to their instruction, we have to follow. So working for Krishna is nothing but Yajna, because Yajna, Krishna is the Yajna Purusha. So I thank all the devotees for participating in this discussion. Now let us have a Kirtan for 5 minutes and 5 minutes break. So who will do the Kirtan? Prabhuji?
Rakshita Mataji.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Rakshita Mataji, please. You can raise your hand, I'll make you co-host. Yes, Mataji, please.
Netravati Mataji will be sharing the screen, or how is it? Okay.
No, she is not there.
Okay, she is not there.
Mataji, if convenient, you can also share the screen. You have been made co-host.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Otherwise, Mataji, we will also share the screen. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, this is a very long song, so I'll be doing only select verses from the song. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Mudhajane dhanagamatrishnam Kuru sadbhudim manasi vitrishnam Yallabhase nija karmopatam Yallabhase nija karmopatam Vittam te vinodaya chetam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate Yavadvito Pajana Shaktah Tavanija Parivaro Ratah Yavadvito Pajana Shaktah Tavanija Parivaro Ratah Pasha Jivati Jajarade
तां कोऽपि न पृच्छति भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दं भज मूढमते मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् काला सर्वं मा कुरु धन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् काला सर्वं मायामयमिदम् अखिलं हित्वा मायामयमिदम् अखिलं हित्वा प्रविशामि भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता गङ्गा जललवा कणिका पीता भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता गङ्गा जललवा कणिका पीता सकृदप्येन मुरारी सकृदप्येन मुरारी समचा सकृदप्येन मुरारी समचा क्रियते तस्य यमेन न चर्चा क्रियते तस्य यमेन न चर्चा भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते गुरुचरणा तुजा निर्भरा भक्तः संसारा दचिरात् भवमुक्तः गुरुचरणा तुजा निर्भरा भक्तः संसारा दचिरात् भवमुक्तः तेन्द्रिया मानस नियमादेव तेन्द्रिय मानस नियमादेव रक्षसे निजा भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति दुःखं तरणे
नहीं नहीं रक्षते दुःखं करणे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे. Translation. Can we do the translation? Do we have the time?
I don't think so. We have the time.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
I think the melody itself was beautifully done. Thank you very much, Rachita Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, Mataji. It was very wonderful rendition, very soulful, and it was on a different plane. I would say it was transcendental. You have a very, very pleasant voice.
Haribol. Thank you, Mataji.
Beautiful voice.
Beautiful, Mataji. We were totally
Meaningful,
absorbed, you know. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Made all of us into a different world.
Yeah.
Taken all of us.
We should really sing frequently, you know.
So that is the magic of a Vaishnava bhajan, I would say. Hare Krishna.
Coupled with a true devotee's voice also, Mataji, it's worth. Hare Krishna, Mataji. It is a break for how long?
Hare Krishna. Break is not yet announced, Mataji.
I think after
Okay, but
Kirtan, it is
everybody is
5
missing
minutes
from
break.
the scene, so I thought maybe everybody thought because post Kirtan we have break, I think.
That's
Yes,
how we
ma'am.
do it every class. I think
Yeah, it
post
has started.
Okay, okay. So I was just thinking somebody should say that now you leave now. Okay. So after 2-3 minutes we'll be back. Okay. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Mataji. Okay. Hari.
After the Kirtan is the break.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I welcome back all the devotees for our discussion on Bhakti Shastri. I thank Rakshita Mataji. It was a wonderful kirtan that you did.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare. Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So any participants, please? Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. By performance of yajna, one's eatable becomes sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. 3.11 purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Our body is made of the food that we eat. And if we eat only Krishna Prasadam, then our body is fully made of Krishna Prasadam only. And Krishna Prasada, when our body is made of only Krishna's mercy, then this becomes a wonderful vehicle for going back to Godhead. So we should take only the food offered to Krishna, and we should live a sanctified life. Then our brain tissues or the memory, it will help us to understand the very intricate topics of the spiritual science, and it will also help us to remember Krishna always, and we can go back to Godhead. Deepa Rani Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prajapati, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. 3.11 purpose. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If you see the 3.11 shloka, in the purport it is given. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.20. Shriyapatir Yajnapatir Prajapatir Dhiyampatir Lokapatir Dharapati Patir Gati Chandaka Vrishni Satvakam Prasidatam me Bhagavan Satampati. Here, the Lord is the supreme beneficiary. That is, He is the enjoyer of all the yajna. Next, Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajna Pradishtitam. All pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Bhagavad Gita 3.15. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So by doing sacrifice, we can achieve everything in life. And the ultimate sacrifice, that is Sankirtana Yajna. By doing this Sankirtana Yajna, we can achieve everything in this material world for our spiritual advancement, and also it helps us to go back to Godhead. So if we want to eat our food also, we have to do Yajna. Doing Yajna is not optional. It is for everyone. Anybody who wants to live peacefully, he has to perform Yajna, because we have taken so much from the Lord. So we have to give back. It is our duty. Just like we are getting sunlight, we are getting water, rain, air, everything. But we are not paying back. We are not going to pay for sun, for giving the light. Just like we pay the electricity bill, we pay water bill, but we don't pay anything else. But we have to do this yajna. So doing this yajna means we are showing our gratitude for the Lord. and also it helps us to remember the Lord always. Evam pravartitam chakram. So this is a cycle. Deepti Mataji, you can read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare.
Evam pravartitam chakram. This is a cycle. This is a cycle. We are living on food grains. Grains, vegetables, they are actually our food. Now I'm living and getting energy by eating grains and vegetables. And how my energy should be utilized? It should be utilized for the purpose from where I'm getting energy. I'm getting energy from the Supreme Lord. By supplying of this food stuff, therefore, my energy should be utilized for the service of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 3.11 to 19, Los Angeles, December 27, 1968. Srila Prabhupada Ji.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So cycle means it is continuously going on. We do the yajna and we get nourishment. And by getting the nourishment, we do more yajna, then we get more. So like that, it is giving and taking. So by performing the yajna, we can achieve our existence. Just like here it is given, the grain, from the grain comes, all vegetables, everything is coming. And from that, we have our food. And after having the food, we gain the energy. And that energy is used for doing the yajna again. So this is a cycle. Now, misunderstanding of impersonalism. Anybody likes to read this? Shri Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Misunderstanding of Impersonalism, Bhagavad Gita 4.19 to 24, 5.7 to 11. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyet tatavit. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Bhagavad Gita 5.8 to 9. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So here, Krishna is speaking. A person who is in knowledge, one who is in Krishna consciousness, he is doing all these activities, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling. But actually, he knows that he is not doing anything. It is being done by the modes or the person who is, it is not by himself. Whatever activity he is doing, it is done by the nature. So what is the wrong conclusion, misunderstanding that we can come here? A person, when he understands like this, he may not do any activity, or he may not put his endeavor, because it is not being done by me. But it is not so. We have to do our endeavor for satisfying the Lord. That is our duty. That's like anything you want to achieve in material life, we put all our endeavor. If I want to pass in the exam, I have to put my endeavor, I have to study, and then I have to get the marks. So by knowing this, like whatever activities that are being performed, it is not done by me. It does not mean that I should not endeavor or I should not try to satisfy the Lord. We have to put our full endeavor. Don't just be satisfied whatever happens on its own. But we should always depend on the Lord. We should know that without the sanction of the Lord, nothing will happen. But from our side, we should do all the endeavor for satisfying the Lord. This is explained by Srila Prabhupada in the next coming purport. Anybody would like to read? Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita 4.19 to 24 and chapter 5, 7 to 11. Naiva kinchit karomit. A Krishna conscious person never thinks that I am doing something. Even if you ask him that, are you going to such and such place, he will say that I do not know when I should go. But when Krishna will ask me or allow me to go, I shall go. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone. Dandavat Pranam. Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita 4.19 to 4.24 and 5.7 to 5.1. 5.11. The absolute truth covered by Maya is called matter. Matter dovetailed for the cause of absolute truth regains its spiritual quality. Krishna consciousness is the power of converting the illusory consciousness into the Brahman or the Supreme. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as much as we are surrendered to Krishna, that much energy we can convert into spiritual energy. So everything belongs to Krishna, but when we offer it to Krishna, that becomes the spiritual energy. Otherwise, if we use it for our own enjoyment, it will be the material energy. It will become the cause of our bondage. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The more the activities of the material world are performed in Krishna consciousness or for Vishnu only, the more the atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is telling how much energy you can convert into spiritual energy. That much energy gets spiritualized. This means that if you are able to give this Krishna consciousness to the entire world can be delivered. The more activities of material world are performed in Krishna consciousness, or for Vishnu only, then the more the atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption. So here, how much we can convert this material energy into spiritual energy, it depends on our spiritual practice and our spiritual realization. Srila Prabhupada converted, or Srila Prabhupada gave this Krishna consciousness to the entire world. So many millions of people have taken Krishna consciousness and they are practicing now. So that is the greatness of an Acharya. When we are preaching, we should also think how much I can preach. We cannot go and preach to everyone. Everyone is not receiving, and everyone is not ready to receive Krishna consciousness. So depending on their capacity to receive the knowledge or the spiritual practice and the understanding of Krishna consciousness, and depending on our realizations, our capacity to give them, because if we want to give something to someone, we should have it first. If I have to ask someone to chant 16 rounds, then I should chant first. Then only I can ask somebody to chant 16 rounds. Similarly, how much I am practicing, how much advancement I am getting in Krishna consciousness, that much only I can give to someone else. So what is expected here? Everyone should become Krishna conscious in this world. Then this material world itself will become spiritual world. When Yudhishthira Maharaj started ruling the world, the earth was like Vaikuntha. Yudhishthira Maharaj created Vaikuntha for the people. Those who died in the battlefield, they went back to Godhead. And those who are living after the battle, the people who were at home, for them, Yudhishthira Maharaj created Vaikuntha on earth itself. So both are benefited. Now there is an activity. So read 5.2 verse and purport and discuss significant statements. So let us see the 5.2. Anybody likes to read the shloka? Is it visible? Shloka is visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Shri Hari Priya Mataji, you can read the shloka.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Done. Shri Bhagawanuvacha Sanyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreyastaravrabhau Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Muralidhar Prabhu, you can read the translation.
The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Deepti Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Fruitive activities seeking sense gratification are cause for material bondage. As long as one is engaged in the activities aimed at improving the standard of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmigrate to different types of bodies, thereby continuing material bondage perpetually. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4-6 confirms this as follows. Nunam pramataha kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaya apranoti न साधु मान्ये यत्त आत्मनो यम आसन अपि क्लेश द आस देहः पराभावस्तावद् अबोध जातो यावन्न जिज्ञासता आत्मतत्त्वम् यावत् क्रियस तावद् इदं मनो वै कर्म आत्मकं येन शरीर बन्धः एवं मनः कर्म वशं प्रयुङ्क्ते अविद्या आत्मनि उपधीयामने प्रीतिर्न यावन्मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देह योगेन तावत्. People are mad after sense gratification and they do not know that this present body, which is full of miseries, is a result of one's fruitive activities in the past. Although this body is temporary, it is always giving one trouble in many ways. Therefore, to act for sense gratification is not good. One is considered to be a failure in life as long as he makes no inquiry about his real identity. As long as he does not know his real identity, he has to work for fruitive results, for sense gratification. And as long as one is engrossed in the consciousness of sense gratification, one has to transmigrate from one body to another. Although the mind may be engrossed in fruitive activities and influenced by ignorance, one must develop a love for devotional service to Vasudev. Only then can one have the opportunity to get out of the bondage of material existence. Therefore, jnana, or knowledge that one is not this material body but spirit soul, is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of spirit soul. Otherwise, there is no escape from material bondage. Action in Krishna consciousness is not, however, action on the fruitive platform. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. Without Krishna consciousness, mere renunciation of fruitive activities does not actually purify the heart of a conditioned soul. As long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruitive platform. But action in Krishna consciousness automatically helps one escape the result of fruitive action, so that one need not descend to the material platform. Therefore, action in Krishna consciousness is always superior to renunciation, which always entails the risk of falling. Renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete, as it is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.258.
Prapanchikataya buddhya
प्रापंचिकतया बुद्धया हरि संबंधी वस्तुनः नुमुक्षुभिः परित्यागो वैराग्यम falgu kathyate. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is complete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord, and that no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that factually nothing belongs to anyone. Then where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the main point of this chapter, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. The question here is whether to give up the activity or you just renounce the result of that. So Krishna is telling renunciation of the work. That means I'll completely give up the work. And work in devotion. That means I do the activity, I do the work and give the result to Krishna. That is nothing but working in devotion. Both are good for liberation. Both are capable of giving the liberation. But of the two, which is the better? Working in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Comparing to Arjuna here, Arjuna giving up the work, that is renunciation. Arjuna is telling, Bhiksham api haloke. I will beg from the people for my living. I am ready to live by begging rather than this fighting. So that is renunciation of work. And Krishna is telling, Ma manusmara yuddhacha. You do the yuddha, the fighting, the war, for my sake. That is working in devotion. So both are good. Of course, renunciation of work is not ordinary. Everyone cannot give up their work. But if you are able to work for Krishna, it is far better than only giving up the work at all. The completely giving up the work is not so good. That's what Krishna is speaking here. And Prabhupada is giving the examples and some shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the purport he is giving. So here it is very, very important. Not only getting the knowledge is enough. If I have the knowledge, it is not sufficient. Action is also important. If I am I have all the knowledge. I know that I'm a spirit soul. I'm not this body. I know the activities of the soul. But if I don't act in that direction, then what is the use? It's like when Hiranyaksha was died, his brother Hiranyakashipu, he speaks Atma Tattva to Mother Diti. Diti Devi was crying. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we can find this. Hiranyakashipu also knew Atma Tattva, but he has not acted in that way. Similarly, if we also simply get all the knowledge, but if we don't act in that way, then it is not correct. We have to act in Krishna consciousness. Then only it is having its effect. Just like we see, you can teach this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to a parrot also. A parrot can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But it cannot understand the meaning. It will chant in its own way. But when a cat comes and catches the neck of the parrot, it will not say Hare Krishna. It will say ka ka ka, because it has not understood what it is doing. Similarly, if we don't act in the work, or if we have all the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, and if we don't practice it, it is incomplete. And practicing and not practicing, what is easy? Now, okay, the working in devotional service is better, and also it is easy compared to renunciation of the work at all. A naughty child, when it makes a lot of problem at home, it is giving too much of disturbance, then if you ask the child, just sit in a place and do nothing, just sit silently, that is very, very difficult for the child. Even for our mind, it cannot sit quiet for a moment also. Even when we are sleeping, the mind is working. It is roaming so many places. We get so many dreams. And working for devotion, or if you make the child to sit in a place and you give some toys to the child, it will do some activity. Or if the child is grown up, you can give some positive engagement so that it can do some productive activity. So that is better, and it is also easy. So what Krishna is telling, the best one, the better one is easy to do, and the lower one is difficult to do. So better you go for the easy and best, that is work in devotion. For how many of us it is possible for giving up our household activities, the activities what we are doing day-to-day life, and go to Himalaya and do tapasya? You give up your house, you give up all your relationships and go to Himalaya and just sit there and do tapasya. That is very difficult, renunciation of work. And what is working devotion? Just be wherever you are. Sthane sthito shrutigatam. You just be wherever you are and chant the holy name of the Lord. You practice it and you teach others to practice, so that Krishna is pleased. So that is work in devotion. So between renunciation of work and work in devotion, the work in devotion is more easy and it is better than renunciation of the work at all, completely giving up the work. So that is the essence of this 5th chapter. It is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So how to connect to the Lord? By changing the intention of our activity. So here it is told, Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. One who is in ignorance, he does all the vikarma, the forbidden activities for sense gratification. So what happens? He gets entangled. Parabhavastavad abodha jato. But if when he comes to Krishna consciousness, his activities gets purified, then he will go back to Godhead. So that is possible in Krishna consciousness. And we should not hesitate to use whatever we have in the service of Krishna. This is given by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We may think, how can I use all these things for the pleasure of the Lord? These all are sense gratificatory elements, just like we have our mobile phone, this computer, this internet, these movies, this all this transportation, so many things. Everything is being used for sense gratification. People are using it for their own pleasure. So these all are prapanchika. These all are belonging to this material world. How can I use this for Krishna's service? No, don't think in that way. Prapanchikataya buddhya harisambandhi vastunaha. It can be connected to Krishna. Harisambandhi, it is possible. Mumukshubhihi parityago. If you just give it up, thinking that it is prapanchika, it is bhautika, or it is mundane, then such kind of vairagya, it is not real vairagya. It is falgu vairagya. Falgu means false. Then what is the real vairagya? Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjataha. Without any selfish motive, without any tendency for gratifying the senses, our own senses. Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjataha. Understanding its utility. Then what one has to do? Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjataha nirbande Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. If you are using it in the service of the Lord, whatever it may be, if it is coming in the service of the Lord, then it is yukta vairagya. That is the real vairagya. He is the real yogi. He can be considered as the real renunciant, not the person who is completely giving up his work, renouncing the work. It is always good to work in devotion. So this is the essence of this chapter 5. Further continuation. Falgu and Yukta Vairagya. There are so many people sitting idle here. Can I have anyone raising their hands? Some new faces. Jayanti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jnana or knowledge that one is not this material body but a spirit soul is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of a spirit soul.
Yes.
Spirit soul.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So if we only understand that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Okay, I understood Bhagavad Gita, over, chapter close. No, you have to act in that way. You should, if you are not this body, when a person understands that, oh, I am not this body, I don't belong to here, then what I am? Hundreds of questions will raise in our mind. Just like if a child comes to know that whatever you have thought that this is your place of living and these are your parents, these all are not true, something else is there behind, some story is there, then he will have hundreds of questions for others to ask. So similarly, when we understand that this material body, which is giving me so much of pain, it is not mine, or it is not me. It is not permanent. I can come out of this. When a person comes to know this, then he will have so many questions to ask, and he will have so much to realize. So we should act in that way. Don't simply keep your knowledge, just act on that. Harini Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Advancement in real knowledge.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So here the cause, our cause of activity should be the knowledge. We should act in knowledge. And when we act in knowledge, then our knowledge will also improve. When I have a theoretical knowledge, then it is not very strong because I have not yet realized it, or it is not practically seen. But when I do the activity and when I get the result, just like when a person comes to Krishna consciousness, he is free from all the problems of material life. Kleshagni, Shubhada, it will give all the auspiciousness. So when we act in Krishna consciousness and when we realize this, then our knowledge is more strong. That is real knowledge. If I simply know, okay, in Bhagavad Gita it is written like that, that much I know. If we see like that, then our knowledge is not strong. But when we practice it and if we preach to others, it will have more strength. Okay, anybody new people? R. Giridhar Gopal Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. You can.
Actually, nothing belongs to anyone. Then where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. The perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school. If I go into perfect, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, this is, we have just now read 5.2. So what are you going to renounce? Nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to Krishna. So if you think that if you don't know that everything belongs to Krishna, then you are in ignorance. And if you are in knowledge that everything belongs to Krishna, then you have nothing to renounce. Because just like if I come to your house and I say that this TV, I will renounce this TV. Or if this fridge, I will renounce this fridge. Whatever you have, the sofa set you have, I will renounce this. First of all, it doesn't belong to me. Then what is there to renounce? So similarly, if I say that I will renounce this material world, whatever I have, it is all. I'm thinking that it's mine in that case. So you are in ignorance. If you are really in knowledge, then you don't have to renounce anything. You just have to use the things in Krishna's service only. So that is real renunciation, not artificial renunciation, just giving up the things. Use it in the service of Krishna. So finally, Sarita Mataji, you can read this.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness, but one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Krishna is the platform of peace and fearlessness. Purport 5.12. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikyam ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibaddhate. If you are doing profit calculation, this is done in Karma Kanda. I do this much, and if I get this much profit, I will give this much to you. People do some business with the Lord. So in this way, this profit calculation, if you are doing, or if you are always thinking of sense gratification. Sense gratification is the main goal, and I'm using this Shastra or the Yajna for my own sense gratification. So in such cases, one cannot achieve peace or fearlessness. But when a person is acting for Krishna and he is not interested or he is not hankering for the result, then he is always peaceful and he is always fearless. The Lord will always protect me. That is one of the symptom of Sharanagati or the surrender. When a person surrenders to Krishna, his fear of existence is gone away. He becomes completely peaceful. Just like children at home, they are completely depending on their parents. They are not bothered about their existence. What shall I eat today morning, or what shall I eat today evening? That tension is not there. Always he is peaceful. What he has to do, he just have to be with the parents. He just have to follow the instructions of parents. Parents will ask you to go to school, go to school. Parents will ask you to study, you have to study. Your eating and your responsibilities will be taken care by the parents. Similarly, Krishna is asking us, Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru. Just like you just have to think of me, you worship me, you pay your obeisances to me, then Krishna will take care of everything. Whoever remembers Krishna all the time, yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Krishna will take care of them always. So with this, we conclude today's session. Anybody has any questions, they can raise their hands and ask the questions.
Hey Krishna Prabhuji, an announcement. We have put up the attendance link